Let's start a new video here, and to just give you an overview of each week. So a normal week in the course will start with some required reading. Actually, I will do a quick video, very brief one, 5 minutes or so probably, as brief as I can be, I suppose, into giving you a little bit of an introduction to the readings, a little bit of a sort of an idea about where I'd like you to concentrate your mind while you're doing the reading. But I hope that as well as taking that on board, I hope you'll watch the video and I hope you'll take on board what I'm asking you to do. I hope that the guidance will be useful to you. But I hope that you'll also find your own nuggets of information, nuggets of wisdom, I suppose, right? Pieces of the writing that are specifically interesting to you, and that maybe I've mentioned and maybe I haven't mentioned, right? So that'll be the next one. So you watch the video, a brief video introduction from me, then you will do the reading, and so you'll read. There'll be usually one or two, depending on the length of them, theoretical academic articles, and there'll also be a couple, 2 to 3, probably newspaper articles that are relevant to that issue, right? And so my idea with the newspaper articles is to really sort of build up a bit of a context, say, hey, look, do you know the coronavirus? Here's a few articles about the coronavirus. Many of you probably follow the news on the coronavirus, but here's some news about the coronavirus. Okay, now we're going to read this academic article called Questioning Health Security, right? Why, and I'm almost doing that first video now, right, by talking about it. But but just by way of an example, I'll do my video and I'll say, look at questioning health security. I'll talk about it's about how healthcare and how disease prevention has become securitized, how it's become a security issue, and why is it a security issue, and should it be a security issue, right? And so have a read of this article and this academic article and see what you think, right? And again, hopefully you look for that and you look for sort of answers to those questions about, well, why is it a security issue? Why does it matter if it's a security issue or not a security issue? And then you'll go through that and you'll find some things in the article that will stand out to you that I haven't mentioned probably. And I think, wow, I wonder why he's saying that, or how this argument relates to coronavirus, right? Because the article might not be directly about coronavirus, right? Probably isn't directly about coronavirus, but it's an attempt to bring some academic weight to a coronavirus discussion. Okay, so you do that reading. Now, when you've read that, every week you'll have this thing called a perspective question, and there's perspective question 1 and perspective question 2. And what these perspective questions are asking you to do in step 1, you will ask a question, and you'll click on the link, and it'll take you through to this portal, and it'll say this. It'll say, post a quote from this module's reading that demonstrates a perspective or opinion, then write a question that you would want to ask a person that holds this opinion or perspective in order to better understand it. So I want you to take something from the in this case the academic reading, right, the theoretical, and I'll mark those on the module, so you can distinguish between the ones that I think are academic and the ones that I think are. It'll be obvious to you, but I'll make it extra obvious by just writing it on there, right? You'll make that you'll do a question. The step 2 part is you'll go in and upvote, and that's important because what I want to do is I want to have a dialogue with you during this class, right? I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to you about the things that you're finding in the reading, right? And so, unfortunately, I can't do that individually with you for each one. It would be prohibitively time consuming, not only this class but other classes, right? So, but what I can do is I can say, look, ask your questions. That's step 1. You've done the reading. Something stood out to you. Write it down in a quote. Write a question that you would ask sort of the person that wrote that, and then the step 2 is to just look through some of those questions and upvote a question that you think that this is a good question. This is what I'd like to know as well. So it gives me a chance to have a look and say, okay, how many I can rank them by upvotes, and I can see, right, I'm going to answer the most popular questions And that's what I'll do. You'll see in each module there's an instructor video response, and I will come and I'll answer a couple of those questions, or I'll discuss them. I'll try to add some value to those questions, try and make an argument about what I think the answer would be to those questions on those videos. And then, and these will be important because on the midterm and the final, the questions that I choose to ask, and I'll do another video about what the midterms and finals will look like exactly, but the midterms and finals, they will be heavily influenced by those questions that you've asked and those ones that have been answered. So these videos are going to be very useful to you, right? So you'll do the reading, you'll ask the questions, I'll address the more popular questions. And so you see how you're sort of helping me shape the course a little bit, well, quite a bit with the videos, but also the midterm and the final, you'll be shaping those too. The areas that you're concentrating on. Now, again, watch the other video about the midterms and the final for a little bit more information on that. So that's a basic overview of the week. Right? You'll have the introduction video, which will be brief and just directed to the readings. You'll have the readings. You'll have these perspective questions. And you know a little bit about what those perspective questions are for now. You'll also have a quiz every week. That quiz will be, I'll do another video specifically about the quizzes, but you'll have that every week. And then in the course, you'll have a midterm and the final. So every week it's the video, the reading, the perspective question step 1 and 2. Make sure you upvote because you won't get the points without upvoting. So you've got two steps there. And then you'll have finally the quiz. And that'll be every week. And then once in the semester you'll have a midterm, and at the end you'll have a final.